What's going on, YouTube? We back with another quick breakdown. And in this video, we got the legendary comedian Corey Holcomb and his 5150 crew. And in this particular clip, Corey is breaking down Lamar Jackson and the brilliant year that he's having. He's really having an MVP year. And Corey's biggest problem is the NFL is not giving Lamar Jackson his just due. He's having an amazing season, an MVP season. The majority of his wins this year, they've beaten winning teams. Now, of course, the NFL, they're trying to promote Brock Purdy, who plays for an amazing team, the San Francisco 49ers, and they're having an amazing season as well. The difference between Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy is that Brock Purdy is playing with Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels. He has NFL elite players on his team, offense and defensively. Now, the big game was supposed to be when the Baltimore Ravens played the 49ers. The Baltimore Ravens destroyed the 49ers. Brock Purdy threw 5 interceptions, and Lamar Jackson passed for over 240 yards, had an amazing game, rushed the ball really well, made the necessary adjustments to really keep the 49ers off their rhythm. And the Ravens really outplayed them. They really kind of bullied the 49ers. And what Corey is saying is that all of a sudden now people are talking about Lamar Jackson being an MVP when this discussion should have been had throughout the year because he's had an amazing season. And what people don't realize, this would be Lamar Jackson's second MVP. And when I look at this, you look at the NFL and the way that they market their quarterbacks. Is it that they feel as though Lamar Jackson is not marketable? So you're saying Brock Purdy is a more marketable face for the league instead of the better player, Lamar Jackson. So let's listen to what Corey has to say. We'll catch you on the other end and let's get to it.
Let me give you an example of how cold-blooded the media is Stephen A. worked for. It's a young man who is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Best player in the league by far.
I agree.
The young man's name is Lamar Jackson. This young man won the Heisman at Louisville. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, that's unheard of.
He won the Heisman at Louisville. Should have won it the next year, but they didn't want to give it to him 2 years in a row. So look, this young man went to the NFL and his mama represented him. And I saw motherfuckers talking shit like he ain't know what the fuck he was doing. This young man, the obvious best player in the draft that year, if you got an argument about it, then we can say if somebody in his draft class is better than him, we could talk about it. Let's try to talk about it. This young man, when he got his shot to play, because just like Patrick Mahomes, the first year it was a quarterback there.
Right.
They gave this young man a shot at the end of the year. They went to the playoffs.
Exactly.
And everybody was talking shit about him because they didn't win the playoff game. Here's a rookie who wasn't the starter all year. He just got thrown in toward the end.
Right.
Because the other guy was so bad, named Joe Flacco. That's the dude he beat out for the spot. Joe Flacco is playing for the Browns now, and he's actually doing all right. Because he will throw the ball downfield sometime. But back to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson first NFL season where he was the starter, he won the MV motherfucking P.
Of the NFL.
The MVP of the NFL. Do you know how hard that is for a black man who don't talk like Jonathan Majors was talking in court?
Yeah. No,
This is a real one right here.
he
And all his teammates love him. I ain't heard nothing bad about Lamar Jackson.
no.
This past year, it was time for him to get paid. They didn't want him in the league for real because he was representing himself. He didn't have Mr. Feinstein as his representative. He said, God damn it, we see what they getting paid. We see what the top quarterbacks getting paid. I know what I'm supposed to get. Oh, the NFL, they didn't like that. They made it where so many teams couldn't get him. I'm talking about, look at all these garbage ass teams who ain't got a quarterback. They was like, we can't touch it. So Baltimore gave in, gave him some money. This year, this man has not been mentioned in the media as one of the top players in the NFL all year. All year. But yesterday, they beat the brakes off this team in San Francisco that has a quarterback by the name of Brock Purdy that they were saying is going to be the NFL MVP. Man, Lamar Jackson them beat the shit out that boy because Brock Purdy is surrounded by elite players. Well, he ain't got to do nothing but toss the ball to a Deebo Samuel, pass the ball to the running back, Christian McCaffrey. He got a whip over there, but they want to give him the MVP. Why? Because his name is Brock Purdy, and he fits the description of what they want as the MVP of their league.
And basically, Corey is just speaking pure facts. When you look at this, the 49ers, like Corey said, they got a whip. They got Christian McCaffrey, who is an MVP candidate. They got Deebo Samuels, who is a straight stud. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball, and their defense is incredible. Now, we're not taking anything away from Lamar Jackson's teammates, but he doesn't have the same caliber of NFL players that the 49ers have. But what happened? The Ravens went to work on him, and then now, all of a sudden, the narrative is changing. Lamar Jackson, he should be up for an MVP vote now. What an incredible game. So you're telling me just one game changed the complete narrative? I don't think so.
I ain't heard Lamar Jackson's name in the headlines until it ain't but 2 more weeks left for the NFL. They couldn't ignore him anymore. He been winning all year. This is top 5 player in the NFL since he been in there. Do you disagree, Craig?
He the best player in the league.
Craig said he's the best player in the league. I'm not going to argue with that.
I agree.
When he plays, Baltimore Ravens have a chance to beat anybody in the NFL.
Period.
Because they beat the so-called best team in the NFL yesterday. Well, y'all,
Easily.
as NFL players, even if you playing against Lamar Jackson, I think y'all need to all stand up and let the NFL know. I tried to get Brock Purdy the MVP, and the only reason he probably won't get it is because he got his ass dusted. It was his fault the 49ers lost because the defense of Baltimore wasn't having
At
The
all.
white boy good. He just not on the level of
MVP.
yeah.
When Deebo Samuels didn't play, hey man, them people lost 3 games in a row. That's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
A black man who ain't never been nothing but himself. A Florida boy. I think that's where he from.
Nigga look like Sealy.
Right.
I just
No,
said-
he look like Samuel Jackson who get hurt easy in them movies.
Yeah. What's his name? Dr. Glass or not? Is it
Yeah, Glass man. But this a good brother.
Yeah, top notch. Top notch.
Good brother.
Corey raises some very, very good points when he talks about the greatness of Lamar Jackson being ignored. And it kind of reminds me of Doug Williams. Doug Williams was an incredible quarterback, a black quarterback, of course, who played for the Washington Redskins. Now, they weren't giving Doug his props. Doug was having an amazing season. And really back then, they really weren't comfortable with black quarterbacks. They did whatever they could do to kind of avoid black quarterbacks, change them to wide receivers in different positions. But Doug Williams one year had an amazing year, took the Washington Redskins to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. Now, like many other athletes, like Olympic athletes, when they go and they win the Olympics, They come back home, they get rewarded with all type of endorsements and, things of that nature. The black athletes, when they come home, they don't get that same treatment. They don't get the Michael Phelps treatment when they get home. And that was the same situation with Doug Williams. There was no fanfare behind Doug Williams winning the Super Bowl. He was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. That should have been a big story, but it wasn't. And that reminds me of exactly what Lamar Jackson is going through right now. Playing incredible football, beat the team that they said was the best team in the league, destroyed the quarterback that they were creating a narrative of being the MVP of the NFL this year, completely destroyed that narrative. Now the optics look different. Now Lamar Jackson is the front runner for the MVP of the NFL because of one game, not because he's had an amazing season. And that's something that we need to think about. That's why we bring these stories to the forefront so that we can change the narrative and refocus the optics and let people realize that this young quarterback is one of the best quarterbacks that has ever played the position. He's having an amazing year. He's having an MVP year, and the NFL needs to recognize that. And that's what Corey's whole point is. And we want to go back to the situation where why can't Lamar Jackson be the face of the NFL? What's stopping the NFL from marketing Lamar Jackson like they would market a Brock Purdy? When basically you should be marketed based on your performance on the field. See, the thing about Lamar Jackson, he's a game changer. Just like Cam Newton said, he's a game changer. He makes a difference. And that's the narrative that we want to push. He's not a game manager. He can manage a game fine, but he's a game changer. He does things on a football field that wins games for his team to put his team in the position that they're in now. And basically, I agree with Corey, and we want to, of course, bring this brother's name to the forefront because he is having an amazing MVP season. Lamar Jackson, congratulations. We see you, family. And like we always say, let's change the narrative and refocus the optics. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.